welcome to RVR Closet. So I know quite a few of you have been waiting for this comparison video between the Fanatec Club Sport wheelbase version 2.5 and the DD1. But yeah, I had to really get the DD1 dialed in before I could really have a saying about it. Yeah, it took me quite a few hours of testing before I actually felt that it was a good purchase. Yeah, my DSD panels, they are hanging a bit here. I just put them on temporarily. I'm still waiting for the conversion panels for my bottom boxes, so that's why it looks a bit weird. But yeah, thought I could try to do a small comparison here between them. So there are a few visual differences. The CSW 2.5 was a bit wider than the DD1 is. The DD1 on the other hand is a bit taller and also a bit longer. We also have this LED display on the DD1, and yeah, it's a lot more of a square than the CSW. There are also some similarities, like the quick release is the same. The difference is that there is this rubber ring on the DD1 and also this like big nut to tighten down on the rubber ring to secure the rims on the DD base. The mounting is also the same, or can use the same 3 pattern mounting as with the 2.5. There is also a few extra holes that you can, if the rig support it, mount it with 2 more screws on the bottom or 4 holes for the side mounting. When it comes to the looks, both are really nice. I really like the looks of both wheelbases. But I do think the Club Sport wheelbase 2.5 is the nicest looking wheelbase on the market. Think of the DD1 as like a modern sports car, whereas the 2.5 is an old classic, and I do prefer old classic cars over new ones, so I actually think that 2.5 is better looking, and also really liking this window on top showing the insides of the wheelbase. I think that is really cool. One difference I find a lot better on the DD1 is the connections. Both have the connections from power and USBs and all that on the backside, but I really didn't like how they had the connections like in this slot and upwards on the CSW 2.5. It was a real pain actually to connect some of the cords to that wheelbase when it was connected to the rig. It's a lot easier on the DD1. So they are both plug and play wheelbases, but I would say the DD1 isn't as plug and play friendly as the 2.5. The 2.5 was just set it up and it actually mostly felt great in any game. I never really had to mess around a lot with it. That's not really the case with the DD1. As I said, I had to put a lot of time to find the right wheel settings for my liking before I actually even felt it was good at all. If you've seen my video about the DD1 settings, I talk about that I've tried a lot of different settings and other users' settings, but didn't like them at all. And also there are bigger differences between different games. You did feel differences on the CSW 2.5 as well, but there are bigger differences of how the sims or games feel with the DD1. Some games can feel great and others not that great at all. About force feedback and if I find the DD1 worth it over the Club Sport 2.5. The 2.5 is a really good belt-driven wheelbase. Probably the best there is. Really smooth and strong and detailed force feedback. The DD1, once I got it dialed in and really got connected with the wheel. It is better than the 2.5. It feels more lively, faster, yeah, more direct, and also the possibility to race with higher resistance on the wheel or high forces, but without clipping. I really like old cars, and it's really nice to be able to really crank those force feedback settings up in those old cars without power steering. The DD1 is just a bit over twice as much as the 2.5. I find it worth it for me with this upgrade. If it would have been more, like 3-4 times the price of the 2.5, I would have been more hesitant towards if I think it was actually justified to make an upgrade. You still get like the details and all that, like the force feedback. It's not a huge upgrade like in the force feedback itself. It's an upgrade, but yeah, not as big of a leap from the 2.5 to DD that I thought it would. Even though you feel really connected, and it's a really lively feeling with the DD1. If you are on a budget though, I would advise you to go with the CSW 2.5 because it's a really good wheelbase. Or if you already have the CSW 2.5 and think it's a lot of money going over to the DD1, keep the CSW, because yeah, you might regret taking the leap if you are on a tight budget, because the difference isn't that huge. So what can I say more? Like performance, I doubt I will be faster with the DD1 over the CSW 2.5. One thing I could think is due to the feel I get from the car, more direct response. It might give me a bit more confidence in the car or to push the car. Also maybe getting up to speed a bit faster. That might gain me a bit, but yeah, I doubt I will be much quicker with the DD1. I really don't think it's something you go out and buy a DD to get an advantage in that sense. I think it's too small of an advantage. But yeah, now after I got it to come alive, the DD1 is really nice, and I'm really happy I went with the DD1. Really liking it. But yeah, not a huge upgrade. But then again, not a huge step up in price either. There are upgrades that are way more expensive, or many times more expensive than the lower end gear you're upgrading from. But yeah, that's my take on the CSW 2.5 versus the DD1. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Whispering ghosts are hiding in